How's it going, YouTube? I have some bold predictions and takes for this upcoming 2023 college football season. Up first, starting right into it, I got Penn State making the college football playoff. For some, that's not a bold take. They did win 11 games last year, got smacked by Michigan on the road, and they barely lost to Ohio State, if you remember. Score was 44-31, but it was a much closer game if you actually watched it. It was very entertaining. But I have Penn State beating Ohio State, still losing to Michigan, but I have them going in that fourth spot for the playoffs. Up next, I have Ohio State missing the college football playoffs this year. I know that's pretty bold, but as I already said, I have them losing to Penn State, and I have them losing to Michigan. That already knocks them out of the Big Ten championship, so the Buckeyes are not making the playoffs this year. Third take, I have the Tennessee Volunteers losing 4 games. Now, that's pretty bold of me right there, because a lot of people have them competing with Georgia, maybe winning the East. I just don't see it. I have them losing to South Carolina, Alabama, Georgia, and Missouri. Now that Missouri one, that's a bold take in itself. I feel like Missouri's going to surprise a lot of teams this year. Joe Milton, big arm. He could throw down the field better than any other quarterback. But at the QB position, how many times are you going to throw it down the field 70, 80 yards? It just doesn't happen that much. Most of today's passing, it's short routes, maybe a post, it's not, you're not bombing the ball down the field every single play, and each game you're probably going to do it maybe once or twice. You don't do that. So he may have a big arm, but is he accurate? We'll find out this year, but I have them losing 4 games. Next up, I got Alabama going undefeated. Now, some people say, Mason, that's expected. How is that a bold take? Well, I've been seeing on the internet, Bama losing 3 games, Bama losing 2, Bama's not winning the West. I just don't see it, okay? When you're doubting Nick Saban, when the media doubts Nick Saban, it's going to be bad for the whole league. Bama's going to come out here 12-0, maybe defeating Georgia in the SEC championship. We'll see, going 12-0, destroying every team. Maybe they beat Georgia. Maybe they win the national championship. But I know they're going 12-0. I have Arkansas winning at least 9 games this season. A lot of people are doubting the Hogs. I think the over/under of them winning is 6.5. I think that's the Vegas. I believe so. Correct me if I'm wrong. I just see the Hogs, very underrated team this year. Will surprise a bunch of teams. Watch out, LSU. September 23rd. Watch out, LSU. Baton Rouge, probably a night game. Battle for the Golden Boot. It's going to be wild. LSU, upset alert. Top 5 team going down early in the season. We'll see. I have South Carolina as the number 2 team in the East. They are going to be right behind Georgia. I have South Carolina losing to Georgia and Texas A&M. Those are the only 2 losses that South Carolina will have. I feel like they beat Clemson. I feel like they beat Tennessee. They beat Missouri, Florida, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, obviously, Mississippi State. I feel like this is a breakout year for South Carolina. They have two losses this season, 10-win team for South Carolina. Next bold take, I have Texas A&M not making a bowl game. Jimbo Fisher fired. Bobby Petrino looking for another job. I feel like Texas A&M is going to have one of those years where they disappoint once again, just like last year. Their fans, it's going to be disappointing. Jimbo Fisher's 100% going to be fired. Probably a big buyout. The next big take I have Texas Longhorns going 11-1 and winning the Big 12. Possibly making a playoff. I would assume you would have to with 1 loss. So my playoff would be Georgia, Bama, Texas, and Penn State. Those are the 4 teams who are making the playoff this year. Texas will surprise a bunch of people. I still believe they will lose to Alabama. I believe they'll beat Oklahoma, Kansas State, Oklahoma State. We'll see how all this plays out. But I have Texas making the playoff and going 11-1. Another big take I have. Now we know Florida State is returning most of their starters. I believe they have the most returning starters in the country, but I have Florida State going 7-5. A lot of people have them, beating LSU, probably having a 10-win season. I have them losing to LSU, Clemson, Pittsburgh, Miami, and Florida. It's going to be a disappointing for Florida State. Don't believe they'll have a great, spectacular season. You still get 7 wins. Not ideal, but that's my bold prediction. Another big bold prediction, as I already stated last bold prediction, I have Florida beating Florida State at the end of the year. I also have Florida beating Utah. I have them beating these pretty high-profile teams, but also losing to Arkansas, Kentucky, Missouri. Not the season some Florida fans want to have, but there's so many questions around this Florida team. I have them beating these high-profile teams, but then disappointing on mid-major, low-profile teams. So we'll see how that plays out. Well, those are all the bold predictions I have. I hope you guys loved the video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hope you have a good one. See you in the next video.